America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
We're losing our democracy!
More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Wake up!
Before we get into that, let's get into this. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, live stream Friday. As we do every Friday, we come together here. We talk about the latest in news, politics, culture, the fall of Western civilization as we know it. The fluke that is the golden age of Donald Trump's second term, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Joining me, as always, is my co-host Liberty Swine. How you doing this week, sir?
Doing much better, man, and a little disappointed, but watching the
Yeah.
show nonetheless, brother. How about yourself?
I'm waiting for all those arrests, man. All the fucking. Apparently now there's going to be hundreds of them now that Ghislaine Maxwell spilled the beans, but a whole bunch of stuff going on this week, and then of course last week I definitely want to get your opinion on the whole Epstein thing, and the cover up, basically kind of get you let you do your whole rundown on it. I did fucking rapped on it for like an hour yesterday or last week, so yeah, I kind of want to get your thoughts on that, but yeah, a whole bunch of stuff going down. Of course, we're going to be talking about the arrests that are imminent. Everybody, fucking arrests are definitely coming. I'll be honest, it's still not beyond it's not beyond the realm of reason. It's still a possibility, but nonetheless, it's really kind of been a bit of a non-productive in the terms of popularity on Trump's side this last couple of weeks. So just real quick, man, what's your take on the whole Tulsi Gabbard fucking? What's your take on any arrests incoming? Do you think there's going to be any arrests at all?
If there's arrests, there's sacrificial lambs, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are, they're going to charge Obama. Like, I sent you that, report with the meme from earlier, right? Where Trump just recently said a couple hours ago, apparently that, as far as
Right.
as far as he's concerned, Obama has immunity on the Russia hoax shit. So it was just, a distraction. You know what I mean? If anything comes of it, it's going to be at the lowest levels. And from what I'm, the word on the street is that Comey's going to be that sacrificial lamb. But you got Clapper, running around the news circuit already. Like, I'm lawyered up, but again, it's just a show, man. It's all distraction because neither side really wants, the old Epstein's information to come out. And
Right.
it ties all these people in groups together that put on the theatrical show of, we're opposition. And obviously there is opposition in there because we've seen, the prosecution of, MAGA voters as well as Trump himself. But again, that was to cover up these situations. I mean, apparently, it's tied to the Mar-a-Lago raid with the Crossfire Hurricane, classified paperwork. That was some of the shit that they, supposedly raided the old Mar-a-Lago for and didn't come up with. Trump apparently had it somewhere else. Um, you know, and again, it's all one big tie-in, but I don't see arrests coming. I think that they're going to run with, well, bringing light to it is good enough. We just want people to know what the situation was, and you know how it is. The old Republican jam, of all people, and you see, I'm still wearing my MAGA hat. It's not like I'm,
Right.
would suddenly vote for, and I would vote for a piece of toast before any kind of Democrat would ever,
Right.
gain my support, right? But
Right.
Trump pulling the old, true Republican fashion is, seeming to back away from things that, made him popular and got him in the position he's in to begin with.
Right. And again, you like we've said time and time again before, this is really kind of like a once in a lifetime, once in a generation, once in a nation's history kind of taking place right now with Donald Trump, with the sentiment of the people, as we see, like his support still keeps growing, even with the loss of support over the Epstein stuff, it still continues to grow. And it's really, I think a lot of people are like they're still kind of hopeful. And like I say, I'm still a little bit hopeful. I'll be honest with you, it is still pretty early within the Donald Trump administration to just say that, like, oh, like he ain't gonna do nothing. Like, I mean, ultimately, like I say, a lot of the stuff that he is kind of working on is really kind of more like I guess economic trade deals, things like that, midterm focused type agenda things. But at the same time, like we said, a lot of the stuff that we were kind of hoping for was transparency. So I mean, there is still hope that, as the theories out there going, that, like, oh, maybe they're just not releasing stuff because they're building cases on people. I highly doubt that. I'll say that straight away. But in terms of like with this whole Tulsi Gabbard releasing the files on Russiagate, and again, like as the meme says, we can't go after Obama, but we can go after the underlings that basically orchestrated it. And so I do think that's a possibility. And again, like we said, it's not like you got to go and start fucking chopping everybody's heads off, from the top down. As long as you make a couple heads roll, the rest of the sheep will fall in line. You know what I mean? And so I think I do think that that's still a possibility. But from what we've been seeing, though, man, it really is. Like I say, it's very, very disheartening. It's looking very much like the same old, like it's really just like, oh, back to business as usual. I mean, Donald Trump just, fucking took a bullet to the head just so that way he could fucking go continue in the same fashion that we've been doing for the past several decades. And fucking Dan Bongino just went ahead and, abandoned his multi-million-dollar fucking, podcast empire, so that way he could fucking go be a scared lapdog over at the FBI and shit, and never actually get anything accomplished. I mean, I do think that there's still hope. Like I say, it's still pretty early in the game, but nonetheless, a lot of the stuff that we've seen thus far has been very, very disheartening, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that aspect goes, and like you said, it's not, people tend to be like, oh, they got all these MAGA people or what have you that are obsessed with these Epstein files. I mean, you heard even Trump himself trying to distance himself from people that want to see the shit. But, it's not even that. It's the fact that we have a limited amount of time to work with. And without, we've talked about it a million times, not only here, but everyone has across the inner zones, as far as, anyone right of Stalin at this point, that, you have to bring down the current power structure. Otherwise, as soon as Trump is gone, it's business, as usual. Whereas it seems like not only is that not going to happen, but there's a lot of aspects of the current administration that is business as usual, even though they're trying to put on, the theatrics of being the opposite of. And then you got to wonder as well, the like Tulsi, for instance, I believe she went into this wholeheartedly thinking that, that this is what she was going to do. This is what she was brought on for, right? Was, to fuck with the apparatus that not only fuck with Trump, and regular people just for the way they vote, but her as well. I mean, they had her on a terrorist watch list, for fuck's sake. And, I'm sure that she's gung ho for this, and it sucks that they're using her as the tool to try to look over here instead of over there, with the timing situation, and the fact that we know that like an Obama or even the Clintons, for instance, aren't going to be brought down for this shit.
Right. Yep, highly unlikely. Well, I mean, I guess Hillary's still on the table. She doesn't have presidential immunity. She was never president. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I mean, we've seen even what would happen with that. I mean, that's part of the whole situation. You know what I mean? Was the former FBI fucking head, Comey, came out and basically like, yeah, she did wrong and some shit that you and I would be arrested for, but no grand jury in their right mind would indict her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, man, let them make that decision. That's not for you.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I think we just need to have a couple people within this administration that are just willing to to be brave. You know what I mean? To actually do the right thing and actually, not go as with a business as usual. And like I say, it's still pretty early in the game. That's still a possibility. I mean, it still could happen. We're still within the very first year. Within the first 6
And I
months.
still live in MAGA town. I give a shit. Like you mentioned,
Right.
the economic shit is going
Right.
fucking, phenomenally. I mean, every day there's
Biggest
a new
trade deal in
Yeah.
fucking history with
Right.
China.
I mean, we're talking,
right?
yeah, well, no, with Japan. And
With
we're
Japan. Sorry.
talking, yeah, we're talking
Obviously, not
trillions of
China.
dollars total thus far, though. He just announced a couple hours ago that they're getting ready to announce a trade deal with the EU. I mean, you can just keep going as far as that's concerned. The tariffs have been paying off way more than ever estimated, with costs rising minimally, except for straight China goods. Like, if you're ordering from fucking Temu or buying at Harbor Freight, yeah, you're going to pay quite a bit more for your products, man. But, I mean, if you're trying to get, shit from countries that.
I think we might have lost you. Yep. All right. Looks like we lost him. But all right. So I guess with that being said, let's go ahead and check out this post right here. I ain't signing into nothing. Screw you, New York Post. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Yeah. But to finish what I was going to say, as far as you were mentioning earlier, like the midterm situation, obviously this stuff is not just going to go away. I mean, especially, the old Epstein's. I mean, this has been being talked about for a decade now. But
Right.
when midterms is economics, right? Obviously, that's the major kitchen table aspect. The price of groceries, gas, so on and so forth, right? And if we could actually see some mass deportation. I know they like to do these celebrations, like we deported hundreds of fucking criminals in the last week. I mean that's I mean, we remember the estimates before this administration came in, is you're going to have to deport about 7,000 people a day just to get rid of the ones that came in Biden's term.
Right. And then, of course, we'll be talking a little bit later about the huge symbolic, I guess, loss or victory for the Democrats in terms of Obrego Garcia. You guys all remember that guy, right? The, fucking MS-13 gang member.
The Maryland man.
Right. The Maryland father.
Right. He's from 13th Street in Maryland.
Right. Fucking Maryland's finest 13. You know what I mean? That's what it means.
Union pipe fitter.
Right. Fucking an all around good guy.
Real American.
So, judge ordered him to be released. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later. But real quick, just kind of get a quick rundown as to what's going on with the whole documents being released. Right. So I want to give a quick kind of rundown as to what it is that Tulsi Gabbard actually released.
Well, obviously, this is documents related to the Crossfire Hurricane, which was the whole Russia collusion hoax, right? That apparently, directly from Obama, that he was informed that it was raw data, basically, doesn't meet the criteria for release, let alone investigation. And he told, his heads of intelligence to go ahead and put it forth anyway, and to set the ball in motion to get it in people's minds that, Russia interfered in the election. And that's the reason that Trump came into office. And, it's okay if they, wiretap and spy on not only a presidential candidate, but an incumbent, which we know, Nixon, had to resign from office for much less than what took place over that time. That led to the whole Mueller investigation and millions of wasted tax dollars. I mean, we, here, especially recently, we love to point out all the Doge and all this shit. The Democrats have been wasting money long before Doge was ever a fucking thought. You know what I mean?
right? Really seems like the scandals of old were like the like fucking PG compared to nowadays, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's even fucking more hilarious that we know of the stuff that happened, in previous decades. But yet, there's a huge majority of people that believe, like, well, they did that stuff then, but they wouldn't do it now. You know what I mean? Now
Right.
that they have it codified in law with, the Patriot Act and whatnot, and the technology to listen to every fucking thing that you say in any room in your house that you do it in, they definitely wouldn't do that now.
Right. That's what I was saying on my fucking hour-long rant fucking last week, man. If our government doesn't have a fucking secret blackmail ring where they fucking keep other nations in control and other, powerful, wealthy elites and people like that under control by the fact that we have blackmail dirt on them, things like whatever the fuck their vice may be, their thumb screw that we have, something like that. If our government doesn't have that, that would surprise me. Not the fact that our government has that. If they don't have something like that, that would be fucking shocking to me.
It would absolutely fucking disappoint me. Like, what the fuck do
Right,
they run up
right.
these $1 trillion black budgets for, man?
Right. What the fuck you guys even doing, man? Like, what the fuck? What do you mean you don't have files this thick on every fucking foreign dignitary complete with fucking massages from little fucking 12-year-olds and shit like that? What are you talking about? What are we paying
Yeah.
you guys for?
Yeah, I absolutely base my beliefs off the fact that there's a team of Jason Bournes that work for the fucking state, man.
Right, man. Everybody knows this to be factual, At least not be beyond the realms of fucking possibility, to say the least.
Right.
Right. But so apparently, Pam Bondi has launched a strike force on Wednesday. Let me read a little bit into this article. So, Attorney General Pam Bondi launched a strike force late Wednesday to investigate newly declassified intelligence findings that the Obama administration's probe of Russia influence on the 2016 election was deeply flawed. Bondi announced that the Department of Justice will review all the evidence compiled by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and the substandard intelligence in the probe, including fabricated information that the now debunked dossier peddled by MI6 spy Christopher Steele. The Department of Justice is, quote, the Department of Justice is proud to work with my friend Director Gabbard, and we are grateful for her partnership in delivering accountability for the American people, the AG said. So it sounds like just more empty promises from Pam Bondi.
But with this information, everything we already knew was just confirmed. The lies
Right.
to the FISA court, the Steele dossier was bullshit, and it was funded by the Clinton campaign, and so on and so on. And
Every
so on.
time Trump said that fucking they spied on my campaign and shit, that was factual.
This is what led to the discovery of the hidden server in Hillary's fucking basement, and the fact that they were smashing devices with hammers. And, you know what I mean? All this is tied into that, man.
Right. Yep. See, like I said, I've said before, man, fucking during that time period, I remember I was actually in prison from the time Donald Trump got elected until probably about like his last year. So I missed all that shit. Yeah, then it was immediately fucking COVID, and there's so I missed all that shit. So I don't really know what was going on during that whole time, but apparently, like I say, this has really kind of said, like I said, shed a whole lot of light on things from the past, things that especially have been labeled conspiracy and fucking lies and fabrications and things like that. Well, now we know that obviously the lies and fabrications were on the sides of the people that are known for lying and fabricating, and it's their kind of their MO. Who would have thought?
And what's funny is Hillary never tried to deny that this shit happened. She just tried to play dumb and then tried to play aloof. I mean, the famous line from the Senate hearing through this process was, if you heard it at all, it was, at this point, what difference does it make, right? When being questioned at that moment about deaths, in Benghazi. But
dude, the song got it stuck into my head, man. I can never forget that line because of that song. You know which one I'm talking about. What difference at this point does it make? Good times, man. Gotta love the meme age, you know, the age of the meme.
Yep. Absolute fucking wretched, treacherous
Right?
sea hag, dude.
Right. Shit, dude. Fucking the times they are changing. Hopefully, we'll see. At least in terms of things that we once thought were just conspiracy or just people going off and trying to say things that without evidence, things like that. Now we got the fucking evidence. Now we got the vindication. So I mean, it's a whole new era. But let's see. So Pam Bondi further goes on to say, we will investigate these troubling disclosures fully and leave no stone unturned to deliver justice. The FBI earlier this month initiated an investigation into former CIA Director John Brennan and ex-FBI Director James Comey for any potential criminal actions taken as part of the Trump-Russia probe. So those are a couple of guys that are actually on the table. All right. As we were talking about earlier, there are some people, obviously, Obama has presidential immunity, as Donald Trump has pointed out, which is kind of, like I say, the double-edged sword, because Donald Trump has, gotten away with some of the shit that they were trying to charge him for, based off of the fact that he has presidential immunity. We all
But a
that
differential, but something in the differential there that we constantly stated, and others as well across the interzones, was the fact that presidential immunity, amounts to official acts, not
right,
outright criminal fucking espionage and sedition. You know what I mean?
right, right. Well, I guess, like I say, it really just boils down to perspective and who holds power at that fucking point,
And
I
you'd
guess
think that the guy that the shit was committed on currently holds power, that he would be the most raw dog one on it. Like, you know what I mean? This
Right.
is a clear cut case of sedition. Everyone's going to prison, dude. And people can melt down and throw a fit and burn down their local Wendy's and shit like that. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? And as far
At
as
this
Trump
point,
is concerned, and the dude's almost 80. He doesn't got to run again. You know what I mean? And the Republicans are trying to make sure that they lose the midterms as is. So I mean, fuck it, dude. You got nothing to lose at this point, man. I mean, I understand being worried about maybe the safety of your kids and grandkids, but you're billionaires, dude. Send them out of the country now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Have them go live in Trump Tower in fucking Gaza or whatever. You know what I'm saying? At Mara Gaza, and
how much of it do you think is Donald Trump? Because obviously Donald Trump, he's got, if it was plates, Donald Trump's got a pretty full plate. You know what I mean? So I mean, a lot of this stuff when it comes to dispensing justice, doing investigations, things like that, that comes under the wing of Scam Bondi. And as we've seen,
and I understand that, but the buck stops with Trump, and even the fucking dementia-ridden Biden was quoted as fucking saying, getting on Merrick Garland like, you're not doing enough. I wish you weren't as soft, or that's not verbatim, obviously, but something to that effect. And trying to sick him on Trump. You know what I mean? And I mean, that guy couldn't make it past fucking 2 p.m. or whatever. So if he can crack the whip.
You think there's any possibility that Donald Trump's looking into fucking sacking Pam Bondi based off of the obvious, bad publicity that she's brought in his way over the past several weeks?
I think that if he was going to make, a sacrifice, that would be the one.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't see him sacrificing anyone else over the situation.
I don't know if you guys have listened to Styx at all fucking this past couple of weeks, man, but that guy is fully convinced that fucking Pam Bondi is the fucking saint up in this, and fucking it's all Dan Bongino and Kash Patel who are over there, trying to cover up and shit like that, and they're compromised and they've gone rogue. Like, he's straight up said they've gone rogue and shit like that. And like, dude, fucking Pam Bondi fucking was on board with fucking red flag laws in Florida. Wasn't she also the attorney general when Epstein got that fucking sweetheart deal?
Yep, exactly.
Right. So I mean, yeah, if anybody's gone fucking rogue, it's fucking Scam Bondi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she was a registered foreign agent at one point for Qatar. So I mean,
right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if anybody fucking, you got to get rid of fucking Pam Bondi. Like I said, she's never been any good. From the start. Like I said, we all kind of as soon as fucking what was it? Matt Gaetz got And yeah, you're causing too much, tumult, too much waves for us to get you through. We're gonna go ahead and insert Pam Bondi. Everybody all together went, who? And then of course we started digging into her. We started, realizing like, yeah, this lady sucks. This lady's no good at all. And so of course her true colors are shining through. And I do think that we really need to try and push somebody through that's going to actually be able to get shit done. Actually,
Who's
go
not gonna
after people.
move a cot into the Fox News studio immediately upon accepting the
Right,
position?
right. Right, dude. She's fucking. I swear, dude. She's on Fox News more than fucking Joe Biden was at his Delaware fucking beach house.
Yeah, and something like you were saying, like Trump having a full plate, he's trying to do 10,000 things, right? And then you hear the same being said of Bondi, but yet one of the major things that she's doing is fucking hanging out on fucking Fox, man. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? If you're really that busy, how the fuck do you got that much time to do that many interviews, dude? Like, I don't remember, like, previous AGs except for maybe Eric Holder because, him and Barack were trying to be fucking Wu-Tang together and shit. But, other than that, I don't remember AGs being on TV all the time, man. Bill Barr got some action because of the Trump fucking, scandals and situations, but, or
Right.
supposed scandals, whatever you want to call it, lawfare, whatever.
Right. So yeah. In other words, I don't see nothing coming as long as we have Pam Bondi, at the head of justice, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've kind of stated this previously, and you get a little hate for it, but I don't think women should be in positions of power, man. I give a shit.
Right. Yep. So
I think
yeah,
more easily cowed, more easily intimidated, and work on emotion over logic, man. For the most part,
right. Well, so what's your thoughts on Tulsi Gabbard? I mean, in terms of her job thus far, of course, I think she's a flip flopper. The one major thing that anybody could say about her is she's obviously a flip flopper. She obviously she'll go wherever is popular or seems at the time. You know what I mean?
I mean, to an extent, but with her, dude, I think she's one of the exceptions. I've watched her evolution, man. Like obviously after 9/11, the chick volunteered to go to Iraq and whatnot, which is not something you see a lot of chicks do to begin with. Made it up to, was it Colonel Major? And, obviously served several terms as a congresswoman. And once she, the curtain was pulled back and the veil that it dissipated from the DNC, and she realized what time it was, she left immediately. You know what I'm saying? Almost instantaneously. And she was getting up there, like she was actually their darling until she filleted, camel toes on the world stage, right? Shut down her political career. That's really what ended hers as far as the Democrat Party was concerned. But they loved her. She fits, the paradigm. She checks the boxes of, the identity politics situation. And she was actually, I think, the co-chair of the DNC at one point, I believe, like not long before she left the party. And then she went independent. And Trump is the one that brought her onto the Republican side. So I mean, to me, it's not even as necessarily flip-flopping. It's more evolving. The thing that I would be leery with her about was the Second Amendment, for the simple fact that she was kind of not really fully against it, but also the whole common sense bullshit lines. And and now that she's become a Republican, it's, well, I'm pro Second Amendment, but you might think with her being a soldier, she could have been the whole time, and she was just running the line for the DNC. You know what I mean? You really don't know as far as that's concerned, but she's been pretty tough, solid, and she's got fucking nuts to come out and drop this shit, and not only to drop, declassify this paperwork, but to go on national television and say this fool committed treason.
Right. The DNC doesn't necessarily allow for a diversity of viewpoints, to say the least. Yeah.
And like I said, what sucks about it though is it's going to get underplayed, because we see one, the media, they're part of, the second Democrat arm, right? But then on top of that, you got Obama, who is like a saint to them, man. And then the timing, like I said, to me, the administration took something that could have been great and used it as a cover for don't look at the Epstein shit no more because then you're not magazines.
Stop fucking asking about it. Right?
Yeah, yeah. That kind of disgusted me. I'm not gonna lie, man. And I know people love to say, "Well, what he really
Right.
meant." But I mean, you take the man at his
Right.
words because that's something we've always said. Is Trump speaks off the cuff and says what the fuck he's thinking. And obviously, at that time, he was thinking, if you're questioning me, then you're fucking not MAGA. And like, bro, fuck you. MAGA's from Reagan, son. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I've said that the whole time. And this is where the whole with the left, you know, their argument dissolves with their fucking MAGA cultists, because I can sit here and tell you 12 things already that I don't dig about the current Trump administration. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's
Yeah.
at that point to where anything short of him being shown to be a known Epstein like client, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that would, you know, swing my support from, you know, MAGA to the left. Absolutely
Right.
nothing.
And then, nonetheless, as we've said multiple times, as we've made very clear, MAGA does not mean Trump. Although there's quite a few people out there that would say the opposite. You know, there's quite a few people that like, you know, if you don't go along with the wheels of Trump,
Right.
then you're not MAGA. Check, it's MAGA, it's
Right.
Trump. MAGA is Trump. You know,
Right, like
those
that
people are
cat, that
fucking insane.
catnip or cat shit or whatever, right, dude? Fucking
Right, fucking cat
absolute
turds.
boot licking fucking stooge,
Right.
man. He's the epitome of the left's MAGA cultish shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And if you notice, fucking Ben Shapiro, I don't know if you listen to him. I listen to him every now and then whenever I run out of
Holy
shit to
stop.
listen to.
Yeah.
Just because it's like I say, it's always good to hear the other people's arguments and shit, you know. But he's pretty much become the epitome of neocon of you
He's
know
a Mossad
what
agent.
everybody's
He's a Mossad
Right.
propagandist agent. He's fucking
Right.
Goebbels, bro.
It shows, man. It's very very clear. It's very
Yeah.
very fucking clear, you know. But again, that's the only reason why I'll tune into him every now and then. Like I say, the first reason is because I've ran out of shit to listen to, and I'm like, fuck it, here you go, Ben. Tell me something stupid, you know. And I'll
Yeah.
just fucking listen to him. But for the most part, every time I do listen to him, it's very fucking, like I say, you know, pro fucking Middle East intervention and shit. Everything, you know, the first half of the show is probably him just like talking to, you know, the basically kind of bootlicking Donald Trump a little bit because of the fact that, of course, Donald Trump is supporting Israel right now. And so, of course, if you support Israel, then fucking Ben Shapiro thinks you're the greatest person that's ever walked the earth. And no, I definitely did not fucking campaign for DeSantis during the primaries. Absolutely not. That wasn't me. You know, I've always been pro Trump. I've always been fucking MAGAs to the death. You know, fucking,
I didn't tell you should be forced to take the vaccine. I'll tell you,
Right,
kids,
right,
I didn't
yeah.
tell you, I did not say that.
right. So yeah, I like to check in on the, like I say, the part that we're trying to purge from the Republican, you know, ideology bank, I guess, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand, but you know, I tend to listen to, like, you know, if I want to hear what other side says, I'm listening to like Jimmy Dore and, you know, a lot of the guests that come on Rogan, shit like that, you know. But
Right.
man, there's so many, even, you know, so-called right-wing creators and podcasters that I've lost complete respect for and just can't even sit through.
Right. Yeah, dude,
And obviously, I'm not the only one. I looked on Spotify. I was actually going to listen to an episode of the Dan Bongino, the early edition, and now on Spotify, it's like this show isn't even available in your region.
Right.
Like, damn, you destroyed the fucking brand, man, in months.
Right, dude. Yeah, dude. All the replacement shows from the fucking, you know, Silverlock Network are insufferable, man. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
That Vince dude's
I would
gay as
actually.
fuck.
That's telling you something. I would rather listen to fucking Ben Shapiro when I don't have anything to listen to when I'm going home at 3:00 than fucking Haley's nightly scroll. You know.
Yeah, I've not listened to a single episode of that, man.
Like I say, I'd rather listen to Ben Shapiro. That's how bad it is. It's dude. It really is. It's like, I don't know, like if a right wing fucking, you know, Karen mom or something like that was just like sitting around talking about like pop culture mixed with a little bit of politics up in there and shit, you know, or I don't know, maybe the other way around, a little bit of you know, kind of right wing politics, but sprinkled in with a lot of pop culture and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But from like a women's perspective, so it's not entertaining at all. Like, it's
I
fucking
listened to
horrible.
one a couple times recently because Dave Smith was on. Was it like
Mhm.
Her Take? And it's like a chick political show, man. And Anna Kasparian's on there like every day. And that man, what's the hell is that chick that was super Democrat, and then now she's supposed to be a MAGA chick, and she's doing all the talk show circuits. Man, she's a little dark haired, like looks like she's half Asian something. But anyway, just absolutely insufferable, man. It's come on, of course. Once you listen to something, they'll try to play it for you again. And I've been
Right.
driving, working, and that shit comes on, without Dave on there, and you're like, "Fuck, dude!" 10 minutes in, like I can't listen to this drip. Even the so-called right-wing chicks, dude, they're fucking stooges. You know what I mean?
Right.
They could be the greatest chicks, moms. They could.
Yeah, we might have lost him again. It's all right. Internet's been sucking lately. I don't know what's going on. It's been sucking all over the place.
For like
All right.
ever. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think we lost you there for a minute.
My blow.
I forgot where it left off, but it just comes back in with like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no.
Perfect timing, man. Absolutely.
Right? I don't know what you're saying, actually. Lost you there for a minute, buddy.
I don't know, man.
But,
Maybe the old Chromebook's going down.
It could be, man, dude. Like I say, my internet's been fucking shit lately, dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if fucking we're getting hacked by the fucking Chinese or some shit like that. But yeah, dude, fucking my internet's been sucking, dude. Like fucking all my streaming fucking apps have been lagging and fucking buffering and shit like that. And it's like out of nowhere, dude. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on, But I've been seeing it in other places too. I've been seeing other people's live streams have been, a little bit more choppy and shit like that. So yeah, I don't know. Fucking bandwidth's getting sucked up by something.
Right.
Right.
Uses Tube and Netflix, man.
Those things fucking suck too, man. Those take forever to fucking load up too sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's changing now with like all the AI and the Bitcoin mining shit like that, as that stuff increases. But I read not
Right.
long ago that's what takes up the vast majority of the broadband in this country is YouTube and Netflix.
Yeah. Fucking porn subs.
Right. It just tells you it's a whole gang of lazy bastards. And Pornhub, you might get spikes, but they're like 30 seconds at a time and stuff.
Everybody fucking whacks it at the same time. Fucking whack it in sync or some shit. Like,
it's just intervals, man. Like, morning time, lunchtime, at night.
Yeah, we're animals of ritual, Yeah, man. So real quick, let me just go ahead and read through this real quick. So this is Tulsi Gabbard's Russiagate claims. So Tulsi Gabbard's claims of election interference focus on the controversial 2017 intelligence community assessment, which President Barack Obama ordered his intel chiefs to compile. The report fueled the Russiagate investigation against President Trump. Gabbard alleges it amounted to a political hit job, claiming Obama officials knowingly used shaky intel and then lied about it. Gabbard's new claims are based on a 2020 House Intelligence Committee report, which she has publicly released. Its findings differ in some key ways from both the Obama report and a previously released Senate Intelligence Committee report. Democrats, however, point to the Senate report, which was backed by then Senator Marco Rubio, now Trump Secretary of State, that supports some of the findings of the Obama report. So here's the biggest points and what the dueling intel reports say. The Steele dossier says the House report contradicts the claims of Obama officials that they never relied on the discredited Steele dossier, which was compiled by Hillary Clinton's campaign as part of the Russiagate investigation. In a 2017 House hearing, Obama CIA Director John Brennan denied that his agency used the Steele dossier for intelligence assessments. However, the full Steele dossier was still included as an attachment to the Obama intel report, the newly public House report found. Additionally, according to the House report, Brennan, FBI Director James Comey, and Deputy Director Andrew McCabe pushed to use the Steele dossier for the Obama intel report. Senior intel officials also confirmed Brennan confronted Brennan about the legitimacy of the Steele dossier, the House report said, but he shrugged it off. Brennan's response was, quote, "Yes, but doesn't it ring true?" The Senate investigation found that the Steele dossier was not used as part of the Obama intel report. Obama's involvement. Gabbard claimed Wednesday that Obama ordered the creation of the 2017 intel report and suggested it was subject to unusual directives directly from the president and senior political appointees. She added Obama directed the intelligence community assessment to be created to further this contrived false narrative that ultimately led to a year-long coup to try to undermine President Trump's presidency. The 2020 Senate Intel report confirmed that Obama ordered the report to be drafted but did not comment on the political motivations. Obama said that the bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at a distraction. Did Putin want Trump to win? The Obama report said that Russia's goals were to quote, Russia's goals were to undermine public faith in the U.S. democratic process, denigrate Secretary Clinton, and harm her electability, and that Putin had a clear preference for President-elect Donald Trump. But the House report contradicts this, saying that Putin's principal motive in these operations were to undermine faith in the U.S. democratic process. The Russian strongman also seemed to expect Clinton to win and held back on, quote, some compromising material for post-election use against the expected Clinton administration. The Senate report said lawmakers were given specific intelligence reporting to support the assessment that Putin and the Russian government demonstrated a preference for candidate Trump. Did Russia alter the 2016 election? To buttress her claims that the Obama intel report was political interference, she highlighted the findings of multiple intelligence agencies that Russia, quote, had neither the intel nor capacity to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On this, all three reports are in agreement. All right. So basically, they used this after they found out that Donald Trump had won the election to basically undermine his presidency, his entire term, right? And furthermore, like it says, they knew about this. They knew about it the whole damn time.
Right. Obama was told by his fucking agency heads that this is unreliable information, and he said, "Put it in there anyway, man." And this is all tied into the whole dumb shit that you heard about, like, Trump having Russian prostitutes piss on beds, crazy shit, and Rod Rosenstein, lying to the FISA court, using the Steele dossier to get the FISA warrant. I mean, you can just keep going with the shit. And then you had attorneys for the state lying in court saying that they had this information, like the PP tapes and, so on and so forth. And, ordered to produce the shit by judges and, never did. No. And I think actually two people, were actually prosecuted, two attorneys for claiming to have, evidence that they didn't have. But, and this has been a decade, and, no one else has, gone down for the shit. And again, you got to remember that tens of millions of dollars were spent on this. And so when you see these talking heads like on CNN, like Abby Phillips and whatnot on there, like, what did it say? Well, what did the report say? Again, she's trying to get to ask questions and referring to the 2017 release, the Obama, admin release, rather than the 2020 Senate Intel release that, contradicted the vast majority of this. And they use shit like, oh, well, it was backed by Marco Rubio, and that's his, Secretary of State. Marco Rubio was against Trump. He was an anti-Trumper. And you remember Trump, it was Marco Roboto. You know what I'm saying? And the whole Trump games. And, Trump's a forgiving dude. You come and kiss the ring, he brings you on board. But at that time, he was one of the Republicans that were trying to thwart Trump as well.
Right. So real quick, I want to highlight this part too, that the Russians expected Hillary Clinton to win. Right. The whole thing that they had on Hillary, that they had the entire time, was they had a whole bunch of dirt on Hillary Clinton, and they
apparently it was health related. That's what the rumors are.
Right.
Yeah, that it was, when
mental
you saw her collapsing and being thrown into fucking vans, and
she's on apparently
she had to be on drugs to stay calm and not lose her shit on people. I mean, you listen to people like Bongino, who was, Secret Service, say that she was, just horrendous to be around and to work for or with. that she, treats people with disdain and complete disrespect and disregard.
Yeah, it's a fucking Democrat woman in power. I would expect nothing less, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. But so it also points to the fact that they were trying to say the entire time that Russia was trying to interfere, that they were trying to help Donald Trump with, which, as we know now, is they fucking had a couple of memes, and as it says here, that they did not have the the intelligence or the capacity to affect the outcome of the election anyway, right? So basically, if they did want to affect the outcome of the election, why wouldn't they just give Donald Trump several of these fucking Easter egg surprises that they could have been dropping on fucking Hillary Clinton's campaign, or the back in October or something like that, in order to try and sway the outcome more towards Donald Trump? And as the report shows, it's because they weren't hoping that Donald Trump was going to win. They were hoping Hillary Clinton was going to win because, as it says, then they would have basically a thumb screw against her, something to basically kind of pin her down, make her look bad within the public eye, which of course, they don't even need to. I'm sure Hillary Clinton would do a hell of a job doing that for herself, but nonetheless, yeah, definitely proves that the Russians did not try and help Donald Trump whatsoever. Furthermore, just the fact that, again, we've talked about it time and time again, that Russia has basically been the boogeyman of the United States, and it's basically been, every country needs a boogeyman. We've always been at war with Eurasia type thing. And that's basically what Russia's been for us ever since, the Cold War era. And so it's really just, like I say, it's smearing the Russians, and it's basically just their tried and true thing. And then they sit here and wonder, like, oh, why are they invading fucking Ukraine and shit? Like, it's because you guys are assholes. That's why.
Yeah, you've made them seem like the devil, and like you said, we're always at war with Eurasia, and then you place a bunch of weapons on, ever encroaching, border situation. Like, yeah, I mean, you're stoking the fucking fire, man. And it's still hilarious to me, though, that you even have, a lot of right wing commentators. I mean, that are, they're having a hard time with Ukraine, yada yada. I mean, Ukraine. It's not just Ukraine. We know that there's, the special forces of America's there, and they say, well, they're just training them, and then they've had, different people come from, areas as far as mercenaries and so on. Then, not to mention being afforded, higher tech weapons from all over the West. Billions and billions of dollars worth. And, and the fact that Russia has been restrained for, I mean, it's pretty obvious. They're the most nuclear armed, country on the planet. They have tactical nukes, and they've been restrained because they don't want a war with the West. They just want a buffer and, a warm water fucking seaport.
Right. Reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I say, they're one of the fucking biggest superpowers in the world. They're definitely the biggest landmass in the world, aren't they?
Well, Africa, but
well, I mean, as an individual country,
right? I mean,
aren't they the largest country?
Country, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe that's
that's
between them and China.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, like I say, either way, fucking China's another one of those large superpowers as well, too.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, it's obvious, what they want, and I'm pretty sure that you don't grow to that size just by being fucking well, I guess to that power, to the level that they're at now, by actually being the fucking boogeyman that your enemies paint you out to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and they were, went to much, higher heights previous years, right? And then the Cold War, they broke themselves trying to be the monster, trying to compete with the monster, I guess. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what destroyed them. I mean, we know that communism, it's a snake eating its own tail. It's going to eventually end horribly anyway, but it just sped up the process.
Yep, absolutely. So
you're talking about continents, man.
Right. All right, man. So I think that about covers it. Doubt we're going to see any arrests, but nonetheless, we do have possibility for James Comey, Brennan, and what is the other one? McCabe? Something
No,
like that.
it's no McCabe. It's Comey,
Clap-
Brennan, and fucking Clapper. Yeah, Comey, Brennan,
Clapper.
and Clapper. Yep. Clapper
Yep.
was DNI, and then penitentiary face Brennan was of course the head of the CIA, and bitch ass fucking Comey,
Right
the
now,
seashell collectors. He's
yep.
he's the head of the FBI.
Now, Andrew McCabe's listed on here too, deputy director.
But I'm sure he's listed on there. He was the
So,
like you said, assistant director, deputy, or whatever, and I think he
right.
came into power after
He was the
for a
Dan
short
Bongino.
for a short time after Comey was fired. He was like interim or whatever, so they brought Ray.
All right. But yeah, nonetheless, man, like I said, we don't need to fucking murder every fucking buddy. All we need is fucking some heads to roll, and the fucking rest of the fucking flock will fall in line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially the most obvious, Peter Strzok and the Lisa Page. You know what I mean? The FBI agents that were blatantly caught red-handed, and it was brought out and shown to be real. In Congress, and the fact they lied under oath. That they were trying to plot internally. So
Right.
I mean, you have to get it at minimum. And the Obama shit, obviously, anyone that's to use the term again, right as Stalin, dude, you want to see that dude locked up. That's the divider in chief. All the race tension, all that shit was brought back up to its zenith because of that dude, his policies and his rhetoric, man. And it hasn't stopped. His acolytes, your Jasmine Crockett's and Aisha Presley or whatever the fuck her name is. All these stooges that just run around and talk about nothing but everything's racisms and discrimination and oppression. You know what I mean? That kind of reached the mainstream with the old community organizer there.
Yep.
I mean, that's what Obama was. I mean, he had a law degree, but the dude was, he was an organizer. That's what he was. Organized protests, chants, and, shit like that before he won his Senate seat in Illinois. Like, he was literally a no one. And then even as a senator, he was absent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that guy was not even there for most of the votes. And then all of a sudden was president.
It's the American dream, bro. That's what we tell little boys when they're kids, man. Like, hey,
right,
little boy like you could just grow up and just organize some community events, things like that. Next thing you know, you're gonna get elected to Senate. Next thing you know, you might be president one day, young man.
Right.
Gonna fuck over all these people.
It's funny that like you said, you really have that's been some standard, a running thing. Like, you could be president one day. There's been 47 in 250 years. Like, no, you can't. You know what I mean?
Right, keep dreaming, motherfucker.
Yeah.
If you really, really want power, if you really have that ambition, be George Soros or fucking Elon Musk or someone. You know what I mean? That'll get you way more fucking power than the president anyway. Unless you're like Donald Trump and you're willing to fucking get shot at and fucking have your life, probed so fucking deep that they fucking reach the back of your teeth and shit like that. Which I don't think there's very many people like that in existence. You know what I mean? Let alone that are running for president anytime soon. But
yeah, beyond the fact that you need a minimum of $1 billion to even fucking do so. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning multiple times. And like you said, even a billionaire. I mean, look what a low percentage of the population is billionaires. And again, that's like a 10-fold percentile chance of, being elected president. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, apparently, you ask these fucking, like millennials out on the streets nowadays, everybody's making over 100K now. So
right.
100K is like minimum wage, right? Something like that. Fucking people
definitely deserve that right out of fucking, primary school.
Right. For real, man. That's like a human right, I would think. Right.
Right. Along with free health care, fucking housing vouchers, fucking electric car subsidies, like, state ran grocery stores,
right?
Rent control.
public schools,
Yeah,
bilingual education.
the American dreams, man.
All right. This is what your fucking grandparents fought and died for, man.
For
Fucking
foreigners to move
transgender
in and
fucking
tell you
story
how
hour.
your fucking racism's and terrible, and how you should change your country to be like that third world fucking shithole that they just left.
Right.
And then you have a whole bunch of your countrymen that are fucking Googling retards that are out there like, I'm voting for them because I'm not racism. You know what I mean? Like your horror and fear of being called fucking racist is going to lead to, the destruction of the country that is giving you everything. You know what I mean? And has been like a shining beacon in a sea of poo for many, many years.
Yeah, but you got it through racism, though. That's how they
Right.
gave it to us, was by being
Exactly.
racism for
Yeah.
the world. They were the epicenter of racism. Racism never existed until the United States came.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
It's because of racism and slavery, man. Because the people that currently live in like mud huts and that are starving to death, they were brought here and they built everything, even though they're still living in mud huts and like starving to death. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly, man. And
Yeah, but your
complaining about
food isn't seasoned, dude.
it. Right. All right, man. Fucking, what's your take on fucking the Epstein files?
I mean, of course, that's an albatross, dude. That's going to be a never lightened mar on the administration, regardless of anything that happens thus forward. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that will
Absolutely.
never be erased. This whole situation right here, if anything was ever going to make me not wear one of these hats or say I'm from MAGA Town, this is the situation. And not only because of the chomo aspect and the fact that all of them should be strung up on national television as an example, but because of the fact that everyone in the administration that their name before they were put in their position told you that this was one of their goals, was to get this information released. And I think that the administration has been, transparent for the most part as far as what they're doing. But as far as this aspect right here, this is the most fumbling PR and, the worst mistake that's been made thus far, I think. And
Right.
I like I said, there's no coming back from it though. Like there's going to be people from this point that you lost the support of that will probably never vote this way again. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you remember, even originally when we were talking about this, we came into the situation, we were saying, regardless, it's probably never going to come out. It's going to be like the JFK files. It's, you know what I mean? It's going to be, we could possibly talk about unredacting stuff 80 years after everyone that could have possibly been involved is dead. But
Right.
even then it's slim chances. You don't know, like you hear all these different inner zones rumors. Pam Bondi alerted Trump in May that his name was mentioned several times in the list, apparently. Then you have Mike Cernovich, who was the original journalist that broke all this Epstein shit, that says that Trump's name is only in there as far as grand jury testimony, the testimony of several of the girls that stated that they never touched Trump, he never touched them, and the fact that he was on the flight log of the Epstein jet several times. But we know that story as well. He was with his family. He didn't go to the island. They went from like Iowa or something to New York, and from Florida to New York. So that, I mean, and again, I'm not one of these, Trump didn't do it. I mean, fuck, I don't know, right at this
Right.
point, because of the way this dude's acted since, this has all began. I mean, complete 180 from years past. And the simple fact, again, the testimony was Trump, that Cernovich was speaking about. Trump was like the only person, big name, that was willing to come out and testify against fucking Epstein.
Right.
Not only that, but he barred him from all his golf clubs and whatnot, all of them worldwide in like 2005 or something. So we're talking 20 years ago. And he also signed the executive order as far as cracking down on human trafficking and child pornography that put Epstein in the prison cell that he died in. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of aspects that are tied into it, but then at the same time, again, something's happening here. There's some kind of shady shit. Whether he's trying to wield the One Ring, whether maybe he was involved with Epstein at one point, as far as trying to blackmail people or what have you. Maybe not even on the sexual tip, because again, everyone that has had anything to do with this situation clearly states that there's a lot of people that are named in different situations that didn't necessarily do anything wrong. You know what I
Right.
mean? And again, you feel like you have to keep reiterating the fact that I'm not sticking up for or defending anyone. You know what I mean? Because that's the part that's bringing, the whole situation down, is ultimately what this boils down to, regardless, is protecting fucking chomos. You know what I mean? And then with the whole power structure, like, they got in and then realized, or were told, like, if we release this shit, we're talking about bringing down entire governments, including 2/5 or 3/5 or whatever of the United States legislature. I mean, personally, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They let them
Right.
die under prisons, and you know what I mean, hang them, stuff like that, man. I
Purge
mean,
that
fuck.
fucking evil.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yep.
mean, and then you just hold new elections, and people can vote in, representatives that maybe aren't corrupt, or at least will think twice about exercising any kind of undue power, because you might be executed on fucking television.
Right.
You
You
know
have
what
a
I mean?
fucking population that won't fuck around, Like,
Yeah, exactly. Bring back tar and feathering. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like again, I'll reiterate: we'll never see the end of this. We'll never know, and then even with the whole Trump, like, well, okay, you guys want it so bad, I'm gonna have them release, all this grand jury documentation, but it's got to be approved by a judge, though, knowing that he's already been turned, already had hundreds of judges across the country try to overturn his executive orders and rule against the administration up until and even after the Supreme Court steps in. So he knew damn well saying it's got to be approved by a judge was not going to go the way that you would hope it would. It's definitely, he was going to be told, fuck you. And that's exactly what happened. An Obama judge said, fuck you. You know what I mean? And then you got
right.
like Massey, and I keep saying I like Massey. I've stuck up for this dude a lot, but now he's running around with a folder saying phase 2 and all this shit. Where the fuck have you been for fucking a decade, son? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? For real, dude. Like I said, standing on principle and shit, it's all great in a high trust fucking budget, balanced budgeted society, bro. But when it's fucking, communism and fucking, mad censorship 1984 style, or you vote with the party that you were elected to fucking be a part of, I mean,
Right.
it's come to that time, bro. Fuck off. You know what I
The
mean?
only, the
Really.
only principle he's been standing on is fucking get as much news, get as much camera time as he can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong though. It's I don't think that he's changed his voting habits or anything. I think he tries to be, Ron Paul Junebug. You know what I mean? He wants to be Dr. No #2 or whatever. I mean, like again, which is fine in a different situation. But like I said, limited time, make or break. You know
Once
what I
in a
mean? Come
lifetime
on.
window and shit,
Yeah, exactly. And the whole for you to now get in the Epstein shit, like I didn't see this dude walking around trying to pass bills to release that stuff when Obama was in office. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or even in Trump's first term. Fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah, that's where it lies, man. We'll never see the end of this. This is JFK part 7.
Right. Right. So one thing that I do want to point out that actually fucking Sticks kind of pointed out with this whole fucking like, fucking Dan Bongino and fucking Cash Patel have gone rogue. Was he did point out, and rightly so, that out of everybody, Pam Bondi is the only person that has said that these files exist.
Right.
She's the only person that has acknowledged, like, yes, I've seen them. Yes, there's disgusting shit on there. Like, yes, it's absolutely horrific, horrendous. What's whatever. Whether she was lying or not, I mean, she is still the only person out of everybody to actually say like yes, like I've seen the Epstein files. I'm going through them and things like that, and there's horrific stuff on here and whatever. Everyone else has just said, I looked through the files. Yep, he killed himself. We looked through the files, and
it's all child porn.
Right. It's nothing but child porn. That's it. And yeah. So I mean, it's that I guess, like I say, that is one point for her, I suppose. But at the same time, Styx is also trying to say that, like, oh, they're working a fucking big old investigation and shit right now, and they're trying to fucking pull the shade over on them and shit right now. They're trying to mislead them to make them think that the heat is off, but really we're doing some deep investigations, and you're gonna see they're gonna start fucking rolling hundreds and hundreds of heads and shit like that.
He's like, really,
Everybody's
Trump's
going
been
down.
in power the whole time, bro. There was actually a fucking military tribunal, man, secretly on this island where they condemned Biden to death, man. And you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, bro, shut the
But then in
fuck
the
up,
very
man.
same video, he also goes on to say that fucking, but to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure that, we're never going to actually see these come to, any of these trials to take place in our lifetimes or anything like that. I'm like, what do you mean? We're never going to see any of these trials actually take place within our lifetime? So you mean
Right.
that they're
These
going
people
to,
that are 60, 70 years old
right,
now?
right.
Like,
So you mean, yeah, that's called a fucking cover up. Like that's
Right.
the definition of a fucking cover up. Like you wait till
Mhm.
everybody's dead before you release fucking anything, so that way nobody could be charged with anything. You fucking covered it up. Like
Right,
that's called a
exactly, man.
cover up, dude. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Um, but another thing that's odd though is Trump keeps bringing it back up. Everybody keeps bringing it back up. For some, like, dude, like it'll like simmer down for a second. Like I said, I was reserved to the point of like, well, fuck it, dude, just fix the fucking economy, you pedo protecting son of a bitch.
Right.
That was the point that I was at. And I was just like, all right, cool. Let's see what's gonna happen this week. And they fucking bring it back up. And then now fucking who is it? Fuck, I got the name right here. Hold on. She met with the deputy DOJ fucking Todd Blanche, deputy attorney general Todd
Yeah,
Blanche.
old Ghislaine did, yeah.
Yeah, fucking she met with
For
him
a
today,
second day. Yeah.
and apparently she's been absolutely spilling 100% every single bean that they ask her to spill. She
Yeah,
spills it.
apparently has associated over 100 people with that
Right.
scene. But of course, almost immediately after the shit, you get the old ground news coming out, like her attorney seeking a Trump pardon. And like,
Right.
it's funny because it was not long after I sent you that fucking meme. And it was like, dude, he's gonna pardon her, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, so like, dude, you're making things worse. Like, again, true Republican fashion, regardless of this dude being a lifelong New York Democrat, whatever, like he's already fallen in line with the Republican fucking, modus of, this is a lesson on how to lose and not use power.
Right. So yeah, fucking so yeah, there's that, like I say, they just keep bringing the motherfucking thing back up. It's kind of something that, like I say, I was of the mind that they're probably trying to just kind of peel this fucking band-aid off real quick. We'll lose a little bit of support by the time the midterms come back around. Nobody's gonna remember anything that fucking took place with this. Everybody's gonna, oh yeah, fucking what about Epstein? Oh yeah, that was like fucking a couple months into his term, right?
Are you still talking about it?
Right. You guys still talking about that fucking dead pedo, man? He's dead.
You're not
right?
MAGA.
Stop talking about him. You're not MAGA. Yeah. Right. So like I say, they won't let it die, which makes it even more suspicious. You know what I mean? So one thing I guess the two things that I'm kind of thinking is in terms of just kind of going after people, things like that, just releasing things like tons and tons of files, releasing names, releasing I don't know, fucking face shots, things like that. Is again, as you pointed out, there comes to a point where you're probably going to end up just hanging the innocent with the guilty, just to fucking start hanging people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's almost going to be impossible to actually prove who did what at what times. Anything that's going to be actually capable of being brought before a jury and actually proven beyond a reasonable doubt that this person was here at this time doing this deed with this person, and here's the evidence. This, it's going to be a big
Casualties
thing,
of war, man. Just roll.
right? That's the other thing. I think Donald Trump saw the writing on the wall, and if the Epstein files come out at this point in the game, Donald Trump's entire term for 4 years is going to be wrought with scandal as fucking people start, oh, look at this. Oh, this fucking, it's pretty much his entire next 4 years is going to be the Epstein files. It's going to be the Epstein trials, the Epstein files, the Epstein this, the Epstein that. Literally his entire second term is going to be the term of Epstein. That's going to be everything. They're going to be,
maybe if he could tie
mainstream
up the
media is going to be trying to,
and their attention, like, dude, he could just be behind the scenes, just steadily, just signing thousands of executive orders, bro.
right. But at the same time, executive orders don't get things done in the long run. You know what I mean?
Right, but you just got to weave it so thick that even the next administration, if they came in from day one and started trying to undo them, it would just take fucking months of just fucking signing new ones to get rid of the old ones. You know what I mean? I mean that's
Right.
I mean that the minimum that you could hope for is a massive gum up of the system after the administration leaves, dude. You know what I mean? You
Right.
set it up to where if like JD Vance or someone comes into office next, it's going to work out in their favor. But if not, it's going to take the Democrat administration fucking half of the first term just to undo anything that was done previously. I mean,
But that's no, go ahead.
If you're not going to destroy the fucking shop, at least push some shelves over on the way out, man.
Right. But then doesn't that just leave us in the same old boat? Like we said, this is a once in a
Yeah,
lifetime.
it's not what I want. Yeah, I mean,
right.
That's
so
not what I
don't
want
think,
for sure.
I don't think that's what Trump wants either. I think what Trump wants is actual, real, concrete, making America great again. As we've seen.
You see, I mean, unfortunately, it boils down to the legislature and they're fucking jerk offs, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'd rather fight over fucking women and tranny rights and shit like that,
and that's why
over who did what 4 years ago.
And that's why I think Donald Trump doesn't want his entire publicity during his second term to be the Epstein this, the Epstein that, because he wants to, as we see, he has a fucking $1 billion in his war chest right now for the midterms, and he's planning on swinging that weight around, and he wants as much publicity as he can to be able to say, this guy, get him out of here. This guy, we're primarying you. This guy, we're primarying you. We're primarying you. We're primarying you. And I think that he wants, like I say, I think he wants to be able to get concrete things done within this term. And I don't think that he wants it to be, everything just kind of pushed, well, under the rug. I think he wants things to be big, bold, and in your face. I think he wants, people to be talking about, oh, Donald Trump just did this. Oh, he just did this. Like, oh, he just signed this fucking thing that he got pushed through the legislature and shit. And I think that's what he would prefer rather than, just, well, we had a good term, the next person that comes in, he's going to wreck everything. And you guys are back in the same boat. Good luck,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's not necessarily what I want, but that should be
right.
a contingency that's taken place regardless in reality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, because with the do nothing Congress, regardless of what happens, a year and a half now or from now or what have you, you have a good chance of it not working out in your favor because these people don't do shit. And what have they codified? 2 fucking things of Trump's policies thus far, but yet Johnson's brought fucking dozens of Democrat bills to the floor for a vote, but yet they're not codifying Trump shit. You know what I mean? And they have a slim majority, and you're gonna have to work some deals and do some sidebars and shit to get shit done. But at least that would be getting it done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you have a good possibility of like you said, a year and a half from now not having that power. So
right.
To me, you got to build up the contingencies while you have the opportunity.
Yeah. But shit, we'll see what comes of it, man. Fucking I don't know, especially after Ghislaine Maxwell is talking now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what's going to end up coming to that. Again, probably nothing. Probably just some more ammo for the fucking for the media or something like that. But nonetheless, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what ends up coming of it.
You want to be patient, right? It's only been 6 months, and you had Steve Bannon saying it'll be like late summer when the arrests start. You know what I mean? And he said this months ago. And, so you want to be patient, but at the same time, we've known from day one, all of us were saying it, that we have limited time. You basically have 18 months.
Right. I do think Donald Trump also didn't expect as much backlash from. I really do think he was trying to just kind of, like I say, rip the Band-Aid off of this fucking, Epstein and dropping documents and things like that. Because of course, if you look through his campaign and stuff, they asked him like, "Oh, you gonna release the JFK files?" He's like, yeah, sure. You gonna release these files? Yeah, sure. You gonna release the Epstein files? He's like, yeah, I'll release the Epstein files. And he's like, maybe not so much the Epstein files. We'll have to look into that and things like that. So I mean, he never actually said concrete yep, like I promise you, if you elect me, I will release the Epstein files. It wasn't necessarily like at the front of his agenda. So I really don't think that when he, like I said, tried to sort of rip this little Band-Aid off real quick, because of course they did try and start releasing JFK files and things like that. But I think when he was trying to rip this little Band-Aid off real quick, I don't think he expected as much fucking blood to pour out as it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
possibly, but I mean,
that's why he's trying to like, oh well, I've ordered the release of the grand jury indictments, and then of course now we have everything that's going on with the Senate. Fucking what is it? Ruben Gallego was the person that came in and blocked Mark Wayne Mullen. He tried to just bring it to the floor like, oh, okay, well, the Democrats, you guys are in agreement that, oh, we need to release these Epstein files, right? That's what you guys have been saying, right? So he's like, well, we agree on our side too. How about we just bring this to the floor without even having to actually vote on it? If everybody's unanimous, let's go ahead and release them. And of course, Ruben Gallego, of course, the senator from here in Arizona, went ahead and stepped up and,
that
we
dude's a
gotta have
straight
that.
bag. I don't care if he was a
Right.
Marine or whatever the hell he was. He's a fucking homo, dude. One of the softest little bitch-like motherfuckers, but the most smackable face. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But Ro Khanna and Mass a day early, so they couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So, and Mike Johnson, that dude's such a
Right.
squish. Like that dude's a severe problem. Like he cannot wield power in Congress. I don't care what anyone says. Like they
Right.
keep, well, he's getting stuff done. No, he doesn't. He gets omnibus bills passed full of fucking shit and pork, and brings Democrat bills to the fucking floor for votes. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's an absolute fucking squish and needs to be squished right out of that position, man.
Yeah. Yep. Fucking either that or he's fucking giving money to Israel. Don't forget that. He's real.
Yeah, and
real
it blows
down there.
because when this shit happened, I got excited for a minute. It was floating around the phones that fucking, that when the whole Epstein shit, when it was everyone started to, do the blowback, that Bondi was on her way out, and supposedly Matt Gaetz was called off his show on, Newsmax or whatever to come to Washington immediately, and it was like it's about to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
hell no,
It's
dude.
happening.
They just had dinner together. They were just hanging out, jerking each other off. And,
Right. I need you to come down immediately.
yeah,
I got some fucking lobster, bro. This shit's bomb. Come on, man.
come tell me about which doctor you go to for that insanely looking Botox, bro.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. Fucking shit's ridiculous. Shit's ridiculous. Like you said, this isn't the fascism we voted for.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the meme that goes around, I absolutely fucking love it, man. It's the Trump we wanted, and it's the fight, but it's the old Swazi flag behind him, and
Right.
it's the fucking the Trump we got, and it's the Israel flag, and he's got the Shylock curls and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Fucking, yeah, that's the that's the president we got, man. We're trying to make the best of it, all right?
Yep, and believe me, that's what I think Epstein was. You know what I mean? I think that he was absolutely a Mossad fucking asset, but they couldn't have done the shit that they supposedly pulled off without the participation of the CIA. And again, a lot of that information is coming from Mike Cernovich, who is the dude that broke all this open to begin with. And people tend to overlook that. I know a lot of people like to attribute it to Alex Jones, but it was Mike Cernovich, man.
Yeah.
And he's got obvious heavy studying and infiltration into this information, and he states a lot of this shit. He says you can only say so much, you can only go so far. I'm sure non-disclosure agreements and judgments or what have you, but dude, Yeah, I mean, he knows his shit. And he's telling you, even with the Trump stuff, he says he's not on there for any kind of chomo fucking activities, which
Right.
I didn't, I didn't think to begin with. I mean, I've said
Right.
before, if it comes out he is, fuck, hang him too, right? But
Exactly.
the point is like, the people that are most involved in the situation say that's not the case.
Right. Right. What do you give to the thought that if I mean, again, I clearly don't think that he's a pedophile. I don't think he's implicated in the Epstein files in any way whatsoever. I just think that, like I say, this is about the third rail of fucking global politics, and it's basically
Mm.
something that you can't really touch. Like I say, it's basically our fucking power. It's the dark crystal at our core. You cannot remove it, otherwise we all fucking collapse, and there goes our fucking sway around the globe. Then all we actually have is our fucking weapons. Then that's the only power that we actually wield. We don't actually wield any sort of I guess black, dark, power around the world. And
And we've all known that we've had lizard overlords and have coexisted with reptilians for quite some time, and those are the ones that are always attracted to power. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, really, when you think about it, like the people that are, have made the most money, shit like that. I don't care who you are, you've done some fucking dirt to get to that point. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yep, and that's what I said in my rant last week, man. Was fucking that this is how it works to get to the top. Is you have to fucking step on some heads. You have to be an immoral person to some extent. You can't be a fucking just goody two shoes. Oh, I'm just a sweet altar boy and shit like that, and make it to the fucking heights of society. That's not doable. You need to be a ruthless person in order to make it to certain fucking levels of society. You need to be the person that steps on people rather than the person that gets stepped on. And that's the only way that these people make it to the top. And so ultimately, in order to get there, you have to, I guess, like I say, be an amoral person to an extent. Each person has their vice. Each person has their thumb screw. Each person that thinks in that sort of light, they have that within them. They have that vice. They have that thumb screw that somebody just needs to find, and then they're able to exploit it. And that's how this power up at the top stays at the top. You know what I mean? That's why we always talk about I guess the uniparty type thing. They're like, oh, why do both parties seem to work together? Everybody says that they're going to be for the people and shit like that, but really both sides just kind of seem like they're controlled opposition with each other in order to fucking centralize and increase the power of the government, no matter who's in power. That seems to be the objective every single time an election takes place, and it's because of that, and it's because the only way that you're able to get to that height of society, at least for anything more than one fucking fluke term where you made no waves because they silenced you. You have to be that type of person. You have to be basically in the club in order to fucking stay up at that, level in society. And the only way to get into the club is, you do some amoral things. I mean, not saying like you have to do some amoral things, but you have to be basically an amoral person that's willing to, like I say, rip people off, like, and stomp on people, do what you have to do in order to make it to the top,
Sacrifice babies to Moloch,
Right.
cats and dogs living
Right.
together, complete chaos.
Bohemian Grove, all that,
Right.
Gotta go fucking try and find the owl in the woods, Right.
That's Alex Jones footage from way back, man.
Right, man. That's good times, dude. It's some crazy shit, dude. It really is, dude. That's why honestly, like I say, I truly believe that is how fucking the deepest fucking power structures within our world actually work. Is they're some dark, evil, fucking demonic people, lizard people, fucking actual just
That's what I mean, man.
demons
The
within their soul,
reptilians, dude. Right? It's not
darkness
like you
within
actually think.
their hearts, like
Yeah,
actual
I mean,
evil people,
that's what all that means. You got people that like kind of laugh and shit like that when you say lizard people, reptilians. I mean, it's not like I think, there's iguana people, right, from fucking Burma that rule over us or something. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's fucking demons, man. It's fucking, they're so evil you can't even say evil. You got to say evil. You
Hey,
know what I'm saying?
these
Yeah.
people, these people, they truly despise peace. They truly despise, comfort. And the reason that you could, be able to say that is because of the fact that they are never satisfied with anything. These people are fucking billionaires and they're still fucking ripping off for nickels and dimes to the fucking poor people. These people are want for nothing and they take everything, and that's not anything that a good-hearted type of person does. Like that's what I say. These people are truly actual evil people, and that's like I
It's
said,
even when they say like they give the most charity, like people of a certain fucking income threshold, especially toward the right, they're the most charitable and shit. It's fucking strictly tax write offs, man. You know what I mean? It's all it is. It's not really fucking charity. You know what I
right,
mean? And even the vast majority of the cats, like you're saying, they had to do things to get to that point, and now they walk around like, I'm a good little Christian boy. And that's
right,
after the fact, dude. You know what I mean? That's after they've pulled the Jimmy Swaggart and cried in the church for forgiveness for you know being responsible for the crushing of so many lives and shit to get to their point. Like, fuck
right.
off, man.
Yep, and fucking people with a depraved heart left to depraved actions,
Right. Nancy
depraved
Pelosi up here
thoughts.
trying to tell you she just left fucking the confessional, dude. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Fuck out of here, man. Exactly.
Fucking
Exactly.
Pelosi's.
Yep.
Yep.
Even Trump, you know what I mean? I mean, like, obviously, I supported the dude. I voted for
Right.
him 3 times, but the whole like, this was divine interventions is like, no, it wasn't, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you got lucky, bro. You got real lucky.
Right. Democrats are just bad shots. That's all.
Right.
Yep. But I don't know, man. I definitely think that something's fucking at work here. I don't, like I say, I don't think that Trump's fucking, in any way an actual fucking good-hearted person. But I do think that he is definitely an instrument being used by forces greater than us to make change within this world. Make change, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
and I mean, up until the recent fucking shenanigans. I mean, economics aside, right? I mean, that's the reason I supported him, because even though he's it lives a totally different life than me, we're absolutely nothing remotely alike. Still, ultimately, his interests align with mine because himself being able to make money is he's a businessman, and that's what I want. I want lower taxes. I want more money. You know what I mean? It's the same interest, bro. It's just the way you
Right.
go about it. But it's just recent shenanigans that have made me doubt the situation. And even that, I feel it's because he doesn't have to run again.
Yep. Yep. Like I said, it's disheartening. Like I said,
Yeah.
I've been real upset for the past couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Like I've been very much not happy. Again, not as the Democrats would say, like, oh, the Republicans are regretting their votes right now. Like, no, I don't regret my vote at all. But
Right.
nonetheless, I'm not satisfied with what I'm getting for my vote right now.
Right now, like I said, it's only been 6
Yeah,
months,
right
man. We
now.
still got a year minimum, right? But like I said, I don't regret my vote. MAGA isn't Trump. Like
Right.
the neocons now are like to tell you, the previous not never Trumpers are telling you now that there's no MAGA without Trump. That's them trying to bring back the fucking old Republican
Right.
Party is what that is. You know what I mean? MAGA, we've said it from the very beginning that MAGA is a movement, that Trump is the current avatar. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep, it's the new fucking blood that flows through the American people. It's that bond that unites us. As Dr. Steve Turley likes to point out. If you haven't checked out Dr. Steve Turley, definitely recommend you guys check him out. He's great fucking analysis. His live streams are awesome. He takes lots of questions from people, and he's very, very, very good when it comes to things like philosophy, sociology,
Right, fucking goofball though.
epistemology. Yeah, definitely. But he's
He
dude's
got
fucking
his power this.
right. Yep. Um, Shit, I forgot where I was going with that originally. I've been smoking some weed, guys. But yeah, Dr. Steve Turley, man, check that guy out. He's a smart dude. What were we talking about just before that?
Well, fucking the Trumpsicles, man, and how the fact that we're not, don't regret our vote, shit like that. That we're just not satisfied with it
Oh,
to this point. And even now, how you got polls saying that he's losing support with what millennials, right, and independents. It's not like the left's like, see, it's because he's being too rough on the fucking deportations. And stuff. Yeah, you're wrong. You know what I mean? It's because he's not acting accordingly, like how we saw him. We kept saying we want the Trump that the left thought he was going to be. You know
right.
what I mean? Like he's not right enough. You know what I mean? We want a little fascism. Like I want people rounded up like fucking cattle and pushed over the border. You know
Right.
what I mean?
So
Catapulted.
I do remember what it was that he said now though, man, it's that it's no longer about left and right necessarily, that we are more entering into a more populist age of politics, where it's now politics is no longer becoming horizontal, it's becoming vertical, and it's starting to become the populace versus the permanent political class, or the elitists basically. And that's you know what seems to be taking place at this moment, at least in terms of MAGA being a movement and not necessarily just we're just the new Republican Party now that we changed our name, guys. We're gonna make shirts and everything. It's gonna be
Right.
cool. You know, like we're
We'll have these retards voting Republican for centuries.
right. It's
The old flip flopper.
yeah. Yeah, this is the driving force that's forcing us to reawaken as to what it means to be an American, as to what America actually stands for, as what we as a nation stand for, and as what our civilization holds dear. What we hold together under. You know what I mean?
You definitely, man. And the only way to reinstitute that, in my view, is to bar foreigners from holding any kind of goddamn office, man. Because
Right.
if you notice the trajectory, it's a patterns is. All you got to do is notice it, man. In all these major cities across the country, the representatives at this point are fucking Somalis and fucking Middle Easterners and different Africaners, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's not America's, man. How people love to. It's melting pots. No, it's fucking
Right.
not. It wasn't meant to be a melting pot.
It's
Like
only a melting
immigration
pot if
was
you melt into the fucking stew. If you
right.
fucking integrate into the fucking stew. If
Yeah,
you become American. It's not
that's the whole
it's not
idea is
come
melting.
here and you're an American. It's
Right.
come here and maybe you can become a fucking American. Maybe you can join the club.
And not everyone that comes here is an American. It doesn't
Right.
matter, if you're here 20 years, if you still don't, learn the language, support the culture, you know what I mean? Celebrate, the holidays, shit like that. You're not Americans, man. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's just not. And
Yep.
the
If you're
whole
if you're first
indigenous is
generation, be grateful and just know your place in
yeah.
society. And
And the
teach
whole
your
like
kids
you're
to
not
be grateful as
indigenous.
well.
Like, yeah, and my family's been here for centuries. At what point
Right.
or do you become indigenous, dude? You know what I'm saying?
All right. As far back as I could actually trace my actual family, and it's based off of what I actually know, it's like 3 or 4 generations, and we've always been fucking in the United States of America, So it's oh, maybe 5 generations, I think, but we've always been American, nonetheless. Just old grandpa and dad had a hankering for them brown women. You know what I mean? Yep. But good times. Welcome to
Yeah.
America.
Speaking of which, fucking right. Move on to the whole immigration things.
Well, hold up. Actually, I had this queued up real quick just to talk about how Donald Trump's in line with what we're actually going for. Aside from like we say, transparency, things like that. We got this video of him and Jerome Powell and some hard hats over here talking about was it 3.5 fucking $billion, something like that, billions and billions of dollars, numbers far beyond our means of comprehension, because as you know, most of us just live to fucking make it through to the next month. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, this is what your fucking money is getting spent on. And Donald Trump, he lets him have it a little bit.
I think we hear the
Now, as you guys know, Jerome Powell is the chair of the Federal Reserve, which is
neither federal nor does it hold a reserve.
right. Nor is it constitutional, nor does it help us or anything. It's bad stuff, you guys. Bad news. Yeah, you'll check it out.
president. Let's tune in.
With the chairman, as you know. Chairman, come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening. You know, it's a tough construction job. They're building basements where they didn't exist or expanding them, and a lot of very expensive work. There's no question about it. And Tim has been with me for a long time, and
Yes,
you're
sir.
in charge of the committee.
Indeed, one of the reasons I wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses. Wanted to figure out why.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about up a little bit or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm
And,
not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
I did about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
This came from us.
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
Our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building.
Well,
including
no,
the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look.
So it's just
We're
been
gonna
a
see what's
complete construction zone for 5
And
years
it's-
straight, man.
Got a long way.
Right. We've been working on this for years, man. Like, what are you talking about? It was just built 5 years ago. We're renovating it now. You know, we're fucking rebuilding it.
Isn't it crazy
Yeah,
how, like, as the dollar shrinks, the Federal Reserve building or complex gets larger? That's insane, man.
Right, man. It's almost like they could print money or something.
Do you
Is that a
expect
printer
any
behind it?
more additional submarines?
I
Right.
expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't. Expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
What the fuck?
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President, does the issue give you any?
As a real estate developer, what would you do
Great
with a project
question.
manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire them.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President, gives you cause to do that?
Well, I'm here just really with the chairman. He's showing us around, showing us the work. And so I don't want to get that. I don't want to be personal. I just would like to see it get finished. And in many ways, it's too bad it started. But it did start. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's going to be a real long time because it looks like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. Other than that, what can I tell you? The country is doing really well. I just briefed the chairman on the deal we made with Japan. Japan is putting up $550 billion in order to lower their tariffs a little bit.
It's billion with a B. All right. Look at that.
Billion.
Look at that face right there. He just got fucking scolded.
Fucking bullet
He's-
jello, man.
You're right. Look at that. Look at that. Right. So of course that's Jerome Powell, and of course spending billions and billions of your fucking dollars so that way you could be comfortable. Well, he takes billions and billions of your fucking dollars, right? So yeah, fuck that guy. So this was, in my opinion, I don't know what you guys think. This was clearly Donald Trump putting his weight on Jerome Powell, because of course Jerome Powell has been, in my opinion, and I'm sure many of your opinions, been acting real motherfucking political when it comes to that motherfucking interest rate now. You know what I mean? He's been acting real fucking real shady when it comes to lowering that interest rate. Now that we're starting to make deals with these foreign nations for billions and billions of dollars, right? Historic deals, which is, again, the thing that is going to help make it to where we don't need these high interest rates, which of course is used to help battle inflation. Because of course, as we're seeing, the fight against inflation is not going anywhere when it comes to the fucking house. There's, like we like to point out, it's like trying to fucking take away heroin from a fucking drug addict. You know, you're not going to have a good time. Good fucking luck with that. Good luck convincing them to just stop on their own. You know, but nonetheless, when it comes to the Fed and with Donald Trump, with him making these deals around the world, that's bringing money to the United States. So therefore, the Fed should be able to start lowering some of these interest rates, but they're not doing it, and they're being fucking, real fucking hard nose on it, and just like, no, we're not going to lower interest rates. Nope, still going to keep it the same. Nothing changed here. Still staying the course. Even though indicators are starting to show that it's probably about time to start lending fucking money out at a decent rate again. But I think that Donald Trump's really just kind of coming here, and he's putting weight on Jerome Powell to go ahead and lower that interest rate, man. Because it's like I say, it's in terms of what a lot of the American people want, it's a better fucking economy, you know. And I think that Donald Trump's here trying to deliver on that. And like we say, it's making Jerome Powell look like a fucking little puppy that just got his fucking nose put in the fucking carpet for pissing on the floor, you know.
Yeah, the most he could muster was to sit there and shake his head and say, "You're including another building." The only thing I could think by that meaning is like that building was completed before I was in this position or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can deduce, or the construction started before I was in the building. But now this other project that's obviously they were standing in. I mean, he's the one reigning over this, but still, even if you take off that for that added on aspect, we're still talking over $2 billion for these people to sit in a building, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. The people that have been solely responsible for the decrease, the value of the dollar, man, for many decades. Like, I mean, since its inception, it's lost 93% of its buying power. These are the lizards that are responsible.
Right. So do you think so of course there's two other fucking ways that we could go about this, bro, libertarian style, man. Fucking, do you think that either end the Fed? I highly fucking doubt that's gonna happen, right? Of course it's gonna
you have to go to war for that shit, man.
Right. That's gonna send fucking shockwaves through the fucking economy, through the fucking world. That Donald Trump ain't trying to do that. There's also regime change, or fucking getting rid of Jerome Powell and, getting somebody else to go ahead and step up and take that chair from him.
The rules of the charter, though, he can't get rid of him, though. He can't fire him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But I mean,
that's what this was. Like,
you could highly encourage him to resign, though. You know what I mean?
That's what this is all part of. That's why he brought him on, to have him stand there like a bitch. He's trying to pressure him to resign.
Like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? Fuck you up. Like,
yep.
And
it's crazy that the president can appoint a chair, but can't dismiss him. That's pretty fucking wild, because obviously if a president brings them in, regardless of what they tell you, I mean, these people are going to be politically biased. It's like these left-wing activist judges, and they're placed on the benches by Obama and Biden and shit like that, and they rule against Trump almost every fucking time. I mean, it's pretty easy to deduce it's because they're politically biased, man. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, this being unconstitutional to begin with, they've overseen the destruction of the dollar. That, I mean, the whole premise of their being. I mean, it should be abolished immediately. But Trump's trying to go down as the greatest economic president in history and shit. So that's the furthest from his fucking mind, is abolishing the Fed. And you'd have to have someone that's willing to be shot, I guess, in the fucking face, because ultimately that's probably what would happen, because every president that's gone against the Fed, historically, has ended up dead, sometime shortly after. You know what I mean?
Yep. It's become the fucking fourth branch of fucking government.
Yeah.
Yep. Fucking economic, man. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. But yeah, so we'll see. I mean, hopefully, like as I mentioned, man, there's plenty of fucking indicators that would show that the Fed should be starting to lower interest rates, right? So we'll see how it ends up going. You know, like I said, he definitely fucking came and he definitely put his weight on Jerome Powell in a very public way right here. And yeah, just fucking 3.7 billion for renovations to the fucking federal building or to the Fed, the Federal Reserve
Complex.
building. Like,
A
yeah,
complex,
fuck.
like they need a whole complex, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what is it, one
Take
wing's
your
just
fucking-
printers.
Take the value of your fucking money and shove it up their fucking asses. Yeah, fucking. They need an entire complex for that. Matter of fact, it's going to cost you about 3.7 mil for me to take about 3.7 mil from you. All right.
Dude,
Plus
just think,
interest.
like, what the fuck are you building for billions of dollars, man? It's like going to be, you know, a complex with luxury condos and commercial kitchens, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be their own
Right.
little, like, 15-minute city and whatnot.
Epstein fucking 2.0.
Right, they got their own gas station, man. They dictate the prices. Like, bro, just get these people the fuck out of here. Shut her down. Same thing, the
Right.
UN building, shut it down. Kick those people the fuck out. You know what I mean? I'm so sick of our allies is no one does shit for America, dude. Hence the reason that Trump's, you know, in the middle of all these different trade wars and shit and fucking tariff negotiations is because these countries don't do shit. They've done nothing but feed off us for decades. You know what I mean? How do you think we became 36 trillion in debt? It's not just, you know, asinine fucking Riri politicians. I mean, obviously that's a huge portion of it, but you know, the other part is the support of the damn planet. And even now with the cuts, the minuscule cuts that have been made as far as, you know, the scheme of things, you know, you listen to like Pelosi doing the, you know, the talk show circuit and shit, and she's like, you know, well, you know, it's not, it's against, you know, the what America stands for. We've cut this funding and aid to all these different countries around the world to help people eat. And it's like, dude, that's not my responsibility. The same people that are screaming it's the end of the fucking planet, you know what I mean, don't have kids because climate change, the place is overpopulated, but we got to open the border and let people pour in. And you know what I'm saying? If it's just one life is, I mean, they're just nonstop, you know, contradictions. And, you know, the same people that are telling you
Right.
that, telling you we got to support the populations of the most populated portions of the planet. Like, fuck off, man.
All right. Fucking shit. Speaking about just letting everybody in, man. I'll talk about fucking, Kilmars.
Yeah, I mean, another symbol of weakness, sure.
All right. It's either that or we could talk about Hunter Biden. We got immigration and
I mean,
fucking
we'll
Hunter Biden.
get the immigration shit out, man, because we're kind of leading toward that tip with the previous talk anyway. I mean, in reality,
Right. But so yeah, man, fuck, what's the deal with Kilmar, man? Why so of course give us the little bit of a rundown. Of course, we know that he was, you know, MS-13 member,
he's
fucking
the
sent
Maryland
over
man
to
that was caught on camera, fucking while
Right,
trafficking people from a state going, you know, coming from an opposite state away from where he said his originating spot was from. You know, trafficking a whole suburban load of people, man. Been in jail multiple times for beating his chick. You know what I'm saying? Got married to her
Restraining
while in
orders.
prison. Yeah, restraining orders. And, you know, he had a deportation order, but he just wasn't supposed to be sent back to fucking El Salvador because he was scared of gangs from Guatemala. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, obviously El Salvador has been cleaned up as far as that's concerned. So,
safest
you know,
place in the world now.
right. It's been found that okay, this dude can go home. Obviously, he was sent off to fucking, you know, the old summer camp there in fucking El Salvador, man, CCOT. And you know, you had, you know, the Democrats going there and having margaritas with him and flying, you know, the whole DNC there for fucking theatrical photos, crying and
Right.
whatnot. But you know, and then ultimately, in a moment of I don't know, some kind of mental cloud, someone in the administration thought it would be a good idea to bring this fucking dude back, prosecute him for his crimes of fucking human trafficking and whatnot, which would be great if you didn't have a judiciary filled with fucking activists. So you know, immediately their star talking point child is back in America. What do? They try to get him released, and lo and behold, an appeals court judge has ruled that they don't have the grounds to hold him, that he's to be returned to Maryland as the good old Maryland pipe fitting man he is, to live with his family. right? And
Right.
this is absolute weakness. Not only should they have not have brought him back, but they should tell that judge to fuck right off and do something about it because he's being sent off to fucking Sudan. You know what I'm saying? And if you be lucky, if the TikTok videos don't come true and we don't catapult them into the fucking sea on the way, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Well, hold on, let me see. There's this headline from Fox News from a day ago. It just says new twist in Kilmar Abrego Garcia court battle. Judges will be checked. Former federal prosecutor and acting ICE director Jonathan Fahey weighs in. A judge pausing Kilmar Abrego Garcia's release and the rise in something. So it looks like it got paused. So it looks like he's, and then this one from CNN says that he's going to be staying there for at least another 30 days, for at least another month.
Yep, and the Supreme Court, I mean, while they've made some good decisions here recently, right? They need to get off their asses and quit being softies and rule on these cases. You know what I mean? And check these fucking activist judges. But it seemed like they've already done, but these cats just keep doing their thing anyway. So they need to interject and smack the fuck out of them because in the scheme of things right now, it's like the only people that can actually get that done. And one of the most recent ones, like the judge out of California that was, basically trying to rule that everyone has to have 72 hours advance notice and a fucking hearing before they're allowed to be deported. She's like 25 or something, some straight DEI hire, you know what I mean, that doesn't understand the Constitution put in place by Biden. And that's someone that'll be a judge for many years to come. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can't just let this shit ride. And especially when the only two real conservatives on the Supreme Court are getting up there in years, and there's a good possibility that one or both may retire during Trump's tenure, so they're not replaced by fucking Riri Democrats like Ketanji Brown. So I mean, get it done.
So.
Yeah,
right. You would hope so, man. Fuck, but yeah, man, definitely a bad. Definitely a bad look. The Democrats are definitely gloating over there right now. Of course, they're
off to have tacos and margaritas, dude.
Right, but no, I guess they're already saying that immigration's just going to be waiting to pick them up as soon as they let them out over there at Maryland. They're just going to pick them right up because they still have the deportation orders. It's just he was ordered to be brought back for trial for this.
But now this judge is saying he needs to be returned to live with his family, distinctly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it ends up getting played out over the next 30 days or so. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely.
Who the fuck chooses these judges? Like, how is he in court? Was he in court currently, like in Tennessee or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
What the fuck, man?
Well, wasn't that where he got pulled over with the carload of people?
I thought it was Texas or something, and he claimed to be coming from Missouri.
It could have been. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, that's just the only thing that would make sense to me as to why it would be a state charge over there in Tennessee. Other than something like fucking judge shopping or something like that.
Right. That's what I assumed. As soon as I hear that kind of shit,
smuggling, wouldn't it be federal?
You'd think. That's what I mean. Like that's why I automatically assume like, oh, it was the normal thing of them just finding a judge that's going to side with them and shit, regardless of state.
Because if you're,
and that's what I mean, dude.
They'll just send you anywhere the fuck they want.
Right. But I mean, it's like, dude, it shouldn't be, a judge in Tennessee has jurisdiction over a case that, just as an example, like say he did get arrested in Maryland or something. And then they shop around like, oh, well, we'll hold court in fucking, Tallahassee. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't be able to to happen legally. Like that makes zero fucking sense logically. And that's why everything that they say and do, they're always like, well, legalese, it means something different. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? They're bizarro world. That's legalese, dude.
So I say, man, this ain't the fascism that I voted for, bro. You know what
right
I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah,
and you can keep going. You could keep going, like with the immigration thing. I mean, obviously, like, like I was saying earlier, they keep bragging about, these deportations of hundreds of criminals a week. And, we've done 14,000 in the last month. Like, that's nowhere near enough. That's not mass deportations. And the total number, even with the claim, the unsubstantiated claim that they put out that there's been 1 million self-deportations, which isn't even actually listed on the ICE website, man, fucking, they've actually imported more like H-1Bs and through legal immigration than the number they claim to have deported. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, it's a replacement regardless. And even
Right.
if you want to call it white replacement, fucking population replacement, America replacement, whatever the case you refer to it as, it's taking place regardless of who the fuck is in power. And the right uses the excuse for cheap labor, and of course the left uses the excuse of, we need people to pay taxes and fucking the even cheaper labor. They want fucking slavery. You know what I mean? And the fucking Republicans want gray area
They also want
citizens that work for cheap.
voters and fucking congressional
Yeah,
seats and
yeah.
electoral votes.
Yeah, I mean, you had that recent clip of the New York Democrat that's going to resurfaced. I've actually heard some people claim it was just recent, but I posted that video like over a year ago. You know what I mean?
About
But
that
it's
one saying we need it for redistricting
yeah,
purposes.
exactly. I mean, she's blatantly telling you we need them counted
Right.
in the census, man. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You have those moments of clarity sometimes, There's
Yeah, and the district that she represents is more populated than some states. You know what I'm saying? Like she represents, a district in New York. Like, you know what I mean? They're talking about the most densely populated state in the country, man.
Right. Like we were talking about, man, just evil people that fucking crave only power.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah, and the old saying of absolute power corrupts absolutely, but the absolutely corrupt fucking power as well, because obviously we're well aware that power can be wielded for good things, but it's only when
Right.
it's limited and controlled. You know what I mean? And it has
Yeah.
like like I spoke of earlier, in a high trust, moral, fucking balanced, budgeted fucking society. You know what I mean? Not a harshly in debt of homeless ridden, corruption filled fucking reptilian overlord fucking bullshit stack, dog.
I think a lot of it has to do with, that old saying, the only thing that it takes for evil to triumph is that good men should choose to do nothing. And I think that also plays into the four turnings, the good times breed a fucking weak man, the weak men breed hard times breed strong men. I think that's, plays into that as well too, to where basically like we say all the time, fucking America lived in opulence like never before seen on the face of the earth. And, I think that made people soft. It brought about the hard times. And of course, these hard times right now is hopefully going to breed forth some strong men, or it's going to kind of force it to. Because I mean, if we're in like a fucking extreme depression and everybody's fucking dying and shit like that, I highly doubt that we're going to fucking we're going to elect somebody that's going to be like, okay, guys, so we're going to plant some gardens. Okay. Like I doubt we're going to get anybody like that, and at the same time, in times of hardness, that's when these, hardened men are going to like, dude, what the fuck is going on here? Like, scoot the fuck over. Let me fucking take the reins. Like, everybody start doing this. You start doing this. You do this. Like, and that's what I think that Donald Trump kind of represents, is finally the fucking bubble bursting. I mean, there's been people all the way since, fucking Ron Paul back in the day to fucking Ross Perot in the 90s. People have been ringing the bell of like, hey, this, economic crisis that we have going on, it's going to fucking come to a head eventually. And I think, this last couple of this last generation or so, my generation, I'll be straight up with it. My generation, fucking participation generation and shit like that. Like I say, we grew up in absolute fucking opulence. The people that I grew up around fucking wanted for nothing. Everybody had a fucking cell phone and shit. Nobody had fucking cell phones. That was a thing of the past. The internet was around. Fucking, all these fucking great advancements has basically come through this past generation, which is the generation that is, obviously leading the charge and destroying America right now. So like I say, fucking the weak men are breeding hard times, and I'm hoping that it's going to force a lot of these people that formerly were strong men, they would gravitate toward things like business and fucking other things that force them to use their mind and their wits against one another in order to actually push back and forth against one another to gain position and power, things like that. I think a lot of those people are going to kind of be forced to say like, yeah, no, fuck that. I'm going to go into fucking politics. I don't care if it pays that fucking much, but I need to go fucking fix this shit. again, that's kind of the hope, or that's kind of what seems to be the most logical path that a nation in decline would be forced to go. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately, good men are usually off doing good things, right? Whether that's, building, companies or raising families or, whatever the case may be, and or, right? And unfortunately, it takes a lot more than the average to get to them to the point to where they're ready to fucking, let's stand up and let's shake off the shackles. You know what I mean? But like, unfortunately as well, we live in a society where, there's different, classes, obviously, right? And so a lot of the ones that have the the power or the means to make change, like I said, they're preoccupied doing their own thing. And by the time it gets to the point where they're ready to fucking step in and help out and fund and organize movements and whatnot through their networks, it's everyone below them's been suffering for an extended period.
Yeah.
So then, they're looked at like these people are fucking radicalized, or you know what I mean? That's they're crazies. It's because they've already been in hard times, man, for an extended period. By the time it reaches that upper, crust.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we always say as long as people got their AC, got food, and fucking Netflix, they're fine. You know what I mean?
Right. It's those at the bottom that are drowning that are fucking getting hardened, though, man.
Yeah, exactly. But they're the ones that are pointed at like they're fucking, they're radicals, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's borderline terrorists, bro. Like,
right. Well, I mean, that's
sick of it. Fucking sick of it, bro.
That's the way that it always goes. That's the way that it's always gone throughout history, man. Fucking once the shit starts to crumble, the fucking people at the top, they blame the people at the bottom. Like, no, fucking my plans were great. Victory gardens were fucking great. Backyard fucking steel mills were fucking great. You guys just fucked it all up. I'm gonna kill you all. You all could starve now.
Right.
That's the way that
elite.
it always
That's
worked.
to let them eat cake and shit. Right. Yeah. It's fucking,
right. Right. And so
I'm just talking about the producers, the ones with large networks. Like, you know what I mean? The average person, like, regardless of how fed up they are or how much they want to be a part of a movement or what have you, besides, the left who's been allowed to network openly across social media for fucking a decade plus, they have their networks in place. Whereas the vast portion of the right, we've been censored. And then, again, we've been in a position where we're off working, taking care of family, shit like that. So it's the people that that are up in a higher echelon as far as not the elites, but the business class that they're the ones that have the solid networks that are able to organize fucking movements at a pretty a pretty good whim, as far as you see that on the left every day. I mean, every time that there's something that goes on, regardless of the smallest protest, it always leads to some, the person on the left that has some amount of a network and, large amount of means. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas the right, like I said, again, it hasn't really had that. You've been off fucking again, doing your thing, making the fucking world go round, man. You don't got time to cry on the street.
Right. We're crying now, man.
I'm good. I'm good right now, man.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I got AC and Netflix and fucking food, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the fucking drama means.
Right. I got internet. I'm hitting vapes over here and shit like that, man. I'm doing all right.
Right.
My kids are doing all right. Kids eating good. Fucking kids.
I'm saying.
So my two older kids are out of diapers now. Boom.
Yeah.
I got another one coming in October though. So, yep, back in diapers, man. It was almost out of the game. I was almost fucking home free on diapers, but nope, still got to go back to buying diapers again. Yeah, fucking. You want to talk real quick about the illegal immigrant that fucking shot the Customs and Border Patrol agent in New York City?
Lo and behold, dude.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a lighter real quick.
All right, so obviously we know that several illegal aliens have been arrested for, apparently shooting off-duty ICE agent, and he also got off some shots. I'm not like, it sucks this guy ran off, because this was one of the stories that I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to. I'm not positive if if the officer lived or not. Did the officer live? Like I
Yes.
didn't hear see it. Like I said, that sucks. You walked off because this is one of the topics I wasn't that versed on. I know it was 2 illegals charged, right? And they shot an off-duty ICE agent in New York. But the usual suspects,
leg in the face,
right? In
But
the face.
but
But
he lived.
you see actually 47% of the crime statistics in recent time here has in New York is attributed to just illegals. So I mean, this is pretty commonplace.
But I was told
happening.
by the View that most illegals most immigrants actually don't commit crimes. Actually, that white people commit most of the crimes here in the United States. I was told
That's
that
not
by
what the
View.
FBI statistics say. And then on top of that, they always they bunch in immigration as a whole. So they're talking all the the fucking Indians that come over on the H-1Bs that are working
Right.
at Tesla and whatnot, and the Chinese immigrants and all these people that are pretty mellow mannered socially. I mean, we know that for the higher fucking class Indians, right? We'll say that
And
much. But
at the same
like the
time,
Chinese and whatnot, I mean, those are pretty strict societies, when you get to a certain level and in their class casts. But so there's
and
actually no comparison when you're talking about the ones that have been committing crimes nonstop for the
especially
past fucking 7 years.
when you take it into a fucking per capita fucking aspect, I mean, then that really fucking changes things. It's like, oh man, dude, like fucking 6 in 10 people that come here illegally, like commit crimes. I don't know the statistics. Actually, I'm just making that up just for a disclaimer. But you start to realize, like, oh man, like fucking like the reason that there's a bunch of white people that do equal amounts of crime is fucking the black communities, because fucking the white community, at least numbers wise, is fucking twice as large as the black community in the United States. But yet the black community still keeps up with the numbers of the fucking white community as we're doing crime, but yet with half the fucking people, or 13%
But
of
even
the population,
right, even more so, 13% commits almost 60% of the violent crimes, man. And then
Right.
fucking the 47% of the country is white. You know what I mean? And it's exponentially less. And then especially when you look at the statistics of black on white and then versus white on black crime, it's a vast fucking difference.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about some different crime here. But of course, real quick, just the circle back, as Saki would say. The immigration officer, he did survive. Like I said, he did get shot twice. One of the people that, so I don't know if you guys seen the video or not. I didn't have it pulled up, so I didn't don't have it right now. But basically, they pulled up on a fucking moped, which is kind of the MO of crime in a lot of these foreign nations, a lot of these Central and South American countries. You see a lot of this type of stuff going down over there, where they basically, 2 guys pull up on a motorbike. You know that you're about to get fucking robbed, right? Pull out a gun, start fucking shooting at them. Of course, you can't do that if you're in fucking New York, but nonetheless, you can do that if you live in some of the places these people fucking immigrated from, right? So they're basically coming from a fucking place where they immigrated, to either way, none the fucking less, right? These people are over here, obviously, like we say, committing crimes. Hopefully, some of this stuff rallies some of the people up above. I know that it's rallying old Tom Homan. Tom Homan's fucking pissed about it, but then again, Tom Homan's pissed about everything. That's why we fucking love that guy, dude.
But that's
dude,
one of the things I wanted to run with
ass,
that. Is with those crime statistics in New York, not only is it 47%, from illegal immigrants, but also, like you said, the moped crimes are just going up massively. And you, like you said, you could go on YouTube and watch video after video of these third world countries where, like you said, the same setup you just mentioned, multiple cats roll up on a moped, one jumps off, does what they're going to do, and they ride off again. And you're seeing that all over New York, because not only are they housing and feeding these people there, they're sanctuary for census reasons, but they're giving them mopeds and shit. You know what I mean? They're buying them for them so they can get jobs.
They could do
for
Uber Eats
food
and
delivery.
shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But in reality, they're just using it to build crime rings.
Right. Yeah.
Again, on your
Who would have
dollar.
thought? It's almost like fucking, the whole thing. If you give a crackhead a house, he's just going to turn it into a crack house. Like, who would have thought that that's how that would play out? Like same thing. If you give a fucking illegal fucking armed robber a moped, he's probably going to go and do some fucking armed robberies. I would suppose.
That's even with this executive order right now with Trump. You've seen he's basically ordering cities to start getting the homeless people off the streets, and everyone's buzzing about fucking. What is he planning? What is he going to do with it? Where are they supposed to go? Like, it basically makes insane asylums legal again, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need a warm bed, buddy. Come on down.
Come on down, man. Don't even trip, bro. You don't even have to rob somebody anymore. Because, dude, one thing that I do remember from a jail, from prison and jail and things like that, is there actually is people out there that do just commit crimes simply so that they could go into jails and prisons, so that way they have a place to fucking sleep and free room and board for the next couple of fucking years. So I mean, that's a thing, man. So those people, dude, like, fuck, dude, just go to the fucking psych ward, man. Just go to the insane. Obviously not the modern ones, because
you'll get Thorazine and lithium, bro. You'll feel good,
man,
bro.
Fucking just sit back on the fucking taxpayer's dime all day, just like you dreamed about, man. You just don't have to rob little old ladies to do so,
just doing drugs. You just can't hang out at Circle K no more, man.
Right. But
I gotta say, bro, the vast majority of the homeless people, again, we've talked about this before. It's intentional. It's a life choice, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you ask them, hey, bro, you want to come do some work? Make some another. Like, hell no, nah, dude. You know what I mean? Just give me a couple dollars. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what I say, man. Like, I don't care, dude. I think fucking vagrancy should be illegal in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, it's the same thing. Like, fucking, like, oh, it's they choose it as a way of life. This is the way they choose to live. Like, yeah, so do fucking meth heads and shit like that. But I mean, if pulled over and they got a bunch of meth on them, they're going to fucking jail. Like, it's the way that it goes. Like, or if they're out there, doing another part of the fucking meth lifestyle is you go around and you fucking rip shit off from people's fucking front porches in their cars and shit like that. And if you do that, you're going to fucking jail too. Like, but it's part of my lifestyle. This is the way that I chose, man. Like, and this is my freedom, bro. Like, yeah.
And you should let them have it. Let them reap actual repercussions. You know what I mean? Shame's a virtue, dude. And, a punishment is a necessity. And, that punishment could very well just be fucking, you either get your head out of your ass and become a productive member of society to where, you're not reliant on other people, or you're going to get locked in this fucking room and doused with fucking Thorazine every day until you die the fuck out in this room by yourself. You know what I mean? It's fucking that simple, bro. Like, you know what I mean? They're putting bird spikes under
goes a long way, man.
Right. They're putting bird spikes underneath the viaducts. I think they should go even further. You know what I mean? And fucking goddamn razor wire and all that shit. Like, no, you shouldn't be allowed to camp out under the fucking viaduct off of the main street. I give a shit what your so-called plight is, bro. Like, I've had a job in this bitch since I was 15. You know what I mean? Fuck off, man.
Yeah, I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. Fuck you guys.
Right.
Yeah, dude. Like, like I say, if you're really out there and you just need some help and shit like that, dude, there should be fucking places that, fuck it, dude, just check yourself in, man. Just don't be a fucking burden to society. Fucking fuck it. The state's already going to be taking care of you to fucking clean up your shit and your fucking waste and shit that you're going to be leaving around town. Fuck it. Might as well just have them fucking house you in a fucking building.
Right.
We're just going to be spending a whole bunch of tax money to put you through fucking your court dates, your trials, all this and that type shit. Every time you go through the fucking revolving door of prison and shit like that. Like, that's way more of a fucking burden on the taxpayer than it would just be to just say, like, you know what? Fuck it, dude. Like, you want to check out? Here, just come fucking sleep in this fucking, place. And now you ain't fucking leaving until you've shown some actual improvement. Like fucking you've actually shown that, like, okay, yep, I'm cured. I'm ready to be a member of society again. Like, yeah, no.
State-sponsored fucking opium dens, dude, except for it's Thorazine and lithium, and you just, you know what I mean? Go there and hang out, man. Hotel California, bro.
Yeah, Thorazine shuffle all day, man.
But you can never leave.
Fucking shit, real quick, man. Speaking of Hotel California, So what do you think about fucking Karen Bass fucking charging that bitch for treason, dude? Like actually at this point, dude, because as we know, I mean, the southern border is a fucking invasion. The amount of illegal immigrants that we have here, and especially with all the rioting and the violence that has been taking place against federal officers, things like that. At this point, we are actually being attacked by a foreign entity. They're over there waving foreign flags, and Karen Bass is over there giving them financial aid. Like at this point, like she's literally fucking paying these people with taxpayer fucking dollars to go ahead and continue to attack the United States, to attack the federal fucking officers, to attack federal workers for the most part. And it's deal like this. At what point do we just not look the other way, dude? Like, I mean, this is, like I say, this is like I say, at what point do we fucking call a spade a spade? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying about that upper higher class that has the means and the network to make change but refuse to do so, right? These people just had that whole fucking place burned down. They're not allowed to rebuild their own fucking houses. They've handed out like 100 permits. It's been like a year. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, like you said, they're stealing more of their money to give it away to fucking illegals because the law's been enforced. You know what I mean? While this chick is a known seditious fucking communist pile of shit from way back. You know what I mean? And when do these people finally have enough and use the means they have to fucking change their situation? And and I feel you, but that there's comes a point where maybe we should step in as a whole, right? As a country, like we're not going to deal with this shit any longer. But at the same time, you want to leave it up to dude. And brainwashed, so far to the point that they're too horrified of any kind of association with xenophobe or racisms or anything that they're willing to basically, be fucking homeless, never get their shit replaced, and have more theft take place out of their pocket just so they don't have the possibility of being referred to as such. You know what I mean?
Right. Fuck you, dude. Push California off into the sea, bro.
Right. I mean, like supposedly now California is rated the fourth, according to Dr. Turley, the fourth largest economy, which I thought it went from the fifth to seventh the last time I heard, not to mention all the exodus that's taking place of businesses and the fact that they're running fucking, tens of billions of dollars in deficits annually. Like I don't understand, but the fact is that again they've ran one of the world's largest economy into the complete fucking ground. You know what I mean? And it's like so I feel you. At what point do we say that the destruction has gone far enough, man? Like everyone's off to prison, but again, you have to have someone that's willing the possibility to be shot in the fucking face for real in order to get some shit done in this country, because something like that is obviously what it boils down to. Not only with the Trump shit, previous presidents, but dude, I mean, something's got to give.
Right, dude. I mean, like we were saying, I mean, fucking, they might be going after these people that were in the Obama and Biden fucking FBI and in the intelligence community. So maybe we'll see some heads rolled there, and that'll put an example to the intelligence community, hopefully. And then maybe, like I say, just go after fucking Karen Bass, or go after some of these people that are doing these
fucking news scum.
Fucking yeah! If Zoran Mandami gets in there, Donald Trump's already fucking threatening to go in. We're gonna fucking take back control of New York if they elect Zoran Mandami.
Right.
Yeah,
we're gonna enforce the Anti-Communist Act of 1950, whatever the fuck. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Man. I mean, use the laws that are on the books, man. And like Abe Lincoln is celebrated as this great fucking American hero, right? Well, we know that guy suspended habeas corpus and basically the Constitution as a whole in order to keep the country together. And again, I voted for some fucking fascism myself, dude. And, if that guy can be celebrated as one of the greatest of all time, then I'm sure, other presidents have that ability as well. Like, I mean, and there's nothing, more of a threat at this point than, the leftist communist fucking mind virus.
Right.
The most destructive force on the globe at this moment, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Fucking written by an unemployed fucking retard.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, it's not left versus right. You know what I mean? It's normal people versus fucking, the lizard class and blue-haired communists. You know what I mean? Fucking liberal white women.
Right. Yeah, fucking who would have thought, man? They had to bring down the entire fucking the entire world. But in other news, man, fucking
joining the Zoomerwaffen, dude.
Let's talk about fucking Hunter Bidens. Yeah, this was some great shit. Some great shit, man.
You're showing your grocery list, man. No sound, bro.
What up?
No sound.
You're not getting no sound?
Mm-mm.
Let me see. Share sound. Okay. All right. What about now?
Is a managed jar of cocaine.
There.
How different is the experience?
Oh, it's vastly different. The only difference between crack cocaine and cocaine is sodium bicarbonate and water and heat, literally.
So let me give a little
Pay attention, kids. He just showed you how to fuck. He just told you how to make crack.
Right. He doesn't want to though, but he's going to. Right. So
crack like this.
If you guys don't know, completely fucking unprovoked, out of the fucking blue this week, we got this gem from what's his name? Fucking Andrew Callahan, something like that. But dude, like if you guys seen this other dude's video, like he goes around, like he's the dude that goes around like fucking interviews, like does like the underground Las Vegas.
Frozen up, dude. I don't know if that's me or you, bro. Fucking up, man. The goddamn inner zones is. Are you there, bro? You ain't even know, dude. I don't even know what's cracking, dude. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm sure everyone's seen the old Bidens fucking interview there that he was going on about. It's absolute clown shit. Just fucking and fucking. You know what I mean? If you don't know, kids, this is how you make crack. You mix it with carbonate biosodium. Since it's clown worms. Just funny shit. I don't know what happened to old B Rizzle, man. Well, I guess it's that time. Thanks for stopping in. Smell huge guys later. Come back next weekend for some more re shenanigans and smoking. I don't even know.